It's getting spooky up in here, y'all, as Courtney and I prepare for one of our favorite holidays, Halloween. We love any excuse for a good costume party, which is something we share with the mama we're honoring today, lovingly called the Tornado by her 3 kids, Elyse, Michael, and Johnathan Neitzel. Momma Torry truly created the fun and memorable moments for these siblings. But don't mess with her or you might end up meeting the lawnmower. Mwah.
Grab your fork and grab your knife. Morning, afternoon, and night. Mama's recipe and mine. We're about to have a good time. Hey sis, eat this. Hey sis, eat this. Woohoo! Yeah.
Hey sis.
Hey sis.
What is shaking over there?
Oh, just, we're still prepping for Halloween and
Same.
getting ready for that big party. Yeah.
I know. At least you have like 2 weeks. We are like going on Saturday. Lance is in New York all week. And I really honestly don't know how we're going to pull it off.
You'll pull it off. You always do. You're a professional hostess with the mostess.
At this point, we have, I think, 21 people coming. And we were like, if it's under 12, we're calling it and we're getting on a party bus and going bar hopping.
That sounds kind of more relaxing than having to throw a big party. I feel like mine's gotten massive and I'm nervous.
How many people?
I mean, with all the kids, like, I don't know how many families, but when I look at the tally of people, it's like over 100.
Wait,
but
that you've invited, not
said yes. That I've invited. Right. Because it's like all the neighborhood people, and kids from the class, like parents and with their kids and families, and not everybody's going to come, and they stagger out throughout the night because it's more just like a stop by while you're trick-or-treating.
Mm-hmm.
I am a little nervous about how much food I need to prepare. And I think I'm going to do multiple chilies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I've decided I'm going to do tacos. I'm going to do like a brisket taco and a chicken tinga taco with lots of dips and chips. And just because Mexican's easy.
I just feel like you're kind of overdoing it. Why not just make 3 chilies and call it a day?
Well, I guess I could, but
I don't think you need to do tacos.
You don't?
I really don't.
Okay, you know what? You're right.
Don't kill yourself.
Well, this kind of leads me to my next sort of topic that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Last week, I went to a party at one of my friend's house, Allison, and she was hosting it for a little fundraiser for the school. Her thing was you make a perfume, you get to go and like make a scent. They have these people there that you create your own perfume, which was really fun.
Cute.
She takes party throwing to the next level.
She better than us?
That's the thing. I learn from her every time. And that's okay because there's always somebody better than you. And there's, and I feel like she's my, as they say in the manifestation world, she's like my extender. Like I can like learn from her. The way she sets up her house is so beautiful. But one thing, and I want to go back to, you're saying, I think you're overdoing it. Like it was probably about 40 women. And all she did was make this bountiful array of sushi. Okay. That was it. It was just a bunch of different rolls and some seaweed salad. There wasn't edamame. There weren't dumplings. There weren't this and that. And I always feel this need to make such a variety of food when I'm entertaining.
Me too.
And I don't think it's that needed.
I don't either.
And then in the other room, she had this gorgeous dessert table that she, did different levels. So there were cake stands and there were little things, but there were only 3 kinds of dessert. It was just macaroons, brownies, and lemon bars. But the way she displayed it was so beautiful.
Right.
And then the other thing she did, which she always does something special at her parties that just makes them a little more unique than your average party. And she, on her dining room table, now I don't know if I'm brave enough to do this, but she stacked like 24 champagne glasses, you know how they do.
Oof.
And then was having people stand on top of the table on a ladder and pour the champagne in, and it was all trickling down and
Did it get everywhere though?
A little bit, but like not as much as you think it would get on the table. I kind of wanted to do it because I wanted to get a video of me doing it. And then it just seemed like, and I know, and I didn't, and I regret it.
Got to do it for the podcast.
I know. But I do have a video of her doing it. It's those little elements that are unexpected that just make it so much more elevated.
Right.
I just have to give a shout out to her because she's very innovative with her hostessing and always makes it just warm. There's a simple perfection that she is able to achieve.
I love that.
I need to take a page from her playbook. So maybe I will just do chilies and just keep it simple.
I think you should definitely stick with the 3 chilies. One, you can make those in advance and freeze it. Make a really yummy cornbread, like put in jalapenos and cheese.
Maybe a couple different cornbreads.
Oh my God, here she goes again. Courtney cornbread.
Well, I mean, you got to maybe have one regular one for the kids, and then you can do the spicy cheddar jalapeno for the adults.
You can have 2.
Okay. 2 and only 2. Cut me off at 2. And then what about salads? I need some salads, don't I?
Oh, no, you don't. It's just a stop and chat, dude.
You're right. Nobody eats the salad. Last year, I did all these salads and nobody touched them.
No.
You're right. Okay. I'm overthinking it.
You are.
What about spooky deviled eggs?
All right. You can make the spooky deviled eggs.
I know. Because Vivi wants to make the spooky deviled eggs.
I think you should do that.
Okay. All right.
It's settled. This has made me think that I'm going to pare down my menu too for Halloween.
Okay. Thanks, Allison.
Since our theme is a geriatric Halloween, 1 foot in the grave.
Hate that theme. Yes.
Yeah, I know you do. But I almost poo-pooed it. And then everybody else got mad. And they were like, well, who's saying it's not good? And I was like, my sister.
Courtney.
And they were like, she's not even coming. And I was like, well, all right.
You're right. Sorry.
It's going to be hilarious. Okay. I have Mom doing bingo.
Oh, that's great.
I'm going to have Dwight spin the ball and Mom's going to call out bingo.
That's really cute.
And we're going to give away like penis pumps and Bengay.
What's a penis pump?
Like a penis pump to like make your penis bigger.
Oh my God. But that's not real. Like you don't get that at the CVS or something, do you?
I don't know. I'm going to have to look into it.
I mean, is it like a joke or is it a real medical device?
I don't know.
Why don't you give out Viagra?
Oh, I don't have any.
Oh, I was thinking more like Metamucil or,
Bengay, some
Epsom
travel
salts.
size Advil.
Yeah. Maybe some bunion, some corn and bunion.
Oh, or like Dr. Scholl's.
Yeah. Yeah, those are some really great party treats.
Oh, God. Well, my menu, I'm going to do all like soft foods as if you're going to an old folks home.
That's
and
really funny.
oh shit, that reminds me, I got to order those trays. We saw these like paper plates that are in a rectangle that are like all compartmentalized, like as if
like
you
the hospital. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I'm going to get those. But Mom had previously talked about her sloppy joes. So I thought that would be funny to do a sloppy joes little station. And then I'm going to do a mashed potato bar.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yummy too. And that's still a little elevated party. Mom doing the bingo is going to be amazing.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Please get video of that.
I shall.
Well, speaking of Mom, I made her pecan pesto last night.
Okay. And?
So good.
How did you do it? What did you serve it with?
Okay. So I made the first batch with just the way Mom sent the recipe. It has a 1/4 cup of lemon juice in it.
Okay.
And it was so bright and it was so beautiful. And I tasted it. I didn't even have to put salt in it. I was like, oh my God, this is so good. Like I didn't add, with pesto, you kind of got to like sort of a little more olive oil or.
We'll also tell our audience about this pesto a little bit.
Okay. So when I was in Dallas a couple of weeks ago, we were too tired to go out to dinner and Whitney didn't have anything in her fridge. So we called Momma Ashley. We said, we're making martinis. Do you have any snacks? And I don't know. I mean, I might have a cheese or two. And she comes down with like 1 block of cheese, some crackers, and a bowl of pesto, pecan pesto that she made. So we made a dinner out of it. I mean, we were dipping these chips in there. They were so good. I mean, we were using it as a dip, not as a pasta sauce or anything like that.
Well, I think it's interesting is that it's pecan pesto. Typically, pesto is made with pine nuts. But being the good Southern gals that we are, Mama toasted up those pecans.
Oh my God. And I kept thinking, and I'm not like a huge pesto fan. I mean, I like it,
I love
but
it.
I know, but it's not something that I could not stop eating it. So I've been dreaming about it ever since. So I made it last night. And I said, Vivi, come taste it because she loves pesto, my 10-year-old. So she took a bite and she's like, oh my God. She's like, it's so good, but it's lemony. Like, I don't think daddy will like it because, the lemon.
Yeah.
So I made it. I had so much basil. So I just made another batch without the lemon. And I tasted it and it was fine. But to me, it tasted a little bitter, right? It really needs an acid in it. So I thought about, should I put some red wine vinegar in there? I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to let it stay. I'm just going to do it. He can choose. So I put out the both in front of him before I was going to serve it with pasta.
Yeah.
I did serve it with pasta. And I let him try it. And he actually liked the lemon one. He goes, well, I think pesto actually needs a little lemon in it.
I think Jason's taste buds are changing and I like it.
I do too. And we put it on pasta and it's just so delicious. And so I have some left over and I think I'm going to maybe do it like you were saying on salmon this week or something.
I'm now convinced that you and mom are so similar when you get on a train of food.
Oh, yeah. Right. We can't stop.
So I go over there the other day and she's like, I need you to try this pesto. I'm like, I've had the pesto. It's delicious. She's like, no, I made a new batch. And
with pecans?
Yeah. Same thing. I guess she just didn't use as much lemon or I don't really know, but it did. I actually did like it better than the previous version. So she sent me home with some. So I had it as well.
Oh, you had it last night too? Look at us.
Sunday, I went to Central Market and I got homemade ravioli. So I thought it'd be really good on like a cheese ravioli.
And was it?
It was delish. And even good cold, like a pasta salad the next day.
Oh, yeah, I bet. But I'm telling you, this pesto is something else.
We're going to have to put it up on the site.
Yeah, I know. I was always all about Mama Mary's from July episode, which is really good too. But I think it's interesting to do something different and use the pecans.
We might have to have a pesto off.
Yeah, I know. Well, mom's the one that I think she's got about 10 different variations frozen in her freezer right now.
I'm sure.
So she'll probably whip them out in 2 years and say, hey, let's have some pesto.
I need to use up this pesto.
Oh, God.
Well, I have a funny mama. Well, she's just calling me right now, but she's going to have to wait. She's going to be like, you didn't call me back to discuss our plans for tonight. You know, we have the Tiff's Treats discount going on right now. We had a promo code.
Hey Sis 15.
Exactly. So mama got online last week to order and she's like, it is not going through. I don't know what's happening.
That's a bad code. Yeah. It's a bad code.
And I went and tried it out and it worked. And then I'm like, I think it's just for cookies. I don't think you can order brownies or anything. She's like, okay, well, let me try that. And she calls me back. I don't know what's going on. It is not working. She's like, hey, sis, eat this. And I'm like, no, mom, it's just Mom. Hey, sis 15. She's like, oh, shit. All right. Well, that's the problem. Okay, bye. So you can still get those cookies. That discount promo code will work all the way through November. So don't forget to go to cookiedelivery.com and put in promo code HeySis15 for 15% off.
Yeah, don't do Hi Sis 8 this.
Yeah. Earlier you talked about wanting to get that champagne shot for the gram or any of the podcast stuff. So I had a little incident on Friday night that I didn't tell you about because I had to save it for the podcast.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
So we went to a Beastie Boys cover band here in Dallas.
Yeah.
And Andrea, my girlfriend, little partner in crime, was like, let's go rush the stage. And I'm like, what? And she's like, I used to do it all the time. You just like get on stage and you just like dance and party. And I'm like, okay. So we had like a booth upstairs. We went down to where the stage was. She's like, okay, let's go do it. I'm like, all right. And then she's like, I'm just not feeling it right now. It's not a good vibe yet.
And like rush the stage meaning like you're going to like run or you're going to just weasel your way through the crowd because you're both little.
Go up on the stage.
Oh, yeah. Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So we're down there and like one of the guys who's in the band like comes down and he has his microphone and he like puts it in our face. So like we sing it along and we're like, oh, it's on now. We've got to. Well, she's like chickening out. And I'm like, all right, well, dude, I'm going. I got to do it for the gram. I got to do it for the pod. It'll be really funny.
Okay.
Lance and all our other friends are up in this booth waiting
And they
for
don't
us
know
to
what
do
you're
this.
doing?
No, they do.
Okay.
They think we're crazy. So it's the last song, Fight for Your Right.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm going to do it.
Perfect timing.
So I go up there by myself and everybody's like, what the hell is happening?
You just walked up on stage?
Yeah. But it's like,
did you have to hoist yourself over up onto the stage? Or you just.
There were stairs, but that would have been amazing. And I go up there and the song is like literally ending.
Oh, no. You didn't get the courage until the very end? Were they excited to see you or did security rush you off?
No, they were like, oh, yeah, party on. But like literally the song was ending. It was so anticlimactic.
That is so funny.
And then I like get off the stage and the police officer pulls me aside.
No. Oh, no.
Yes. And he's like, ma'am, you really cannot do that. That is not good for security. We don't know. We need to know everybody who's up on stage. You can't do that. No. I was like, I was just kidding around. He's like, that's very bad protocol.
You're lucky you didn't get your little ass arrested.
Am I going to get arrested?
Little idiot. Yeah. Oh my God. For rushing the stage of a Beastie Boys cover band. That would have been amazing. I wish they had arrested you. You could have learned a lot from a night in jail, Whitney.
That is just mean. No, I don't do
kidding.
anything illegal.
I know, I'm joking.
That the cops would find out about.
That is funny.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Did Lance get that on video?
Yes.
Getting
Yes,
pulled
he
over by
does.
the cop?
Oh, I don't know about
amazing.
that. I don't know.
Oh.
I have to find out. But the video is like so embarrassing. But we're gonna have to post it because I did it. So
okay, all right, you had to do it.
It's awful.
Take one for the team.
Seriously,
it's great. Maybe we should talk about today's episode.
Yes,
and set that up because it's going to be an exciting episode when the mom's nickname is Tornado.
Yes.
So Momma Torry, as we like to call our mamas on the show.
Yes, Momma Torry Tornado. She goes to the beat of her own drum.
She's quite a free-spirited mom. And I feel like I really identify the most with these free-spirited moms that we have on the podcast, like Mama Beverly from the Southern Frosted Flake episode. And these whimsical women who really just provide so many fun memories for their kids. And you're going to hear that in this episode. It's just fantastic.
We have on the Neitzel siblings, Elyse, Michael, and Johnathan. It's really special and fun. I think it's a great tribute. There's lots of laughs in here.
It makes me want to cut loose with my parenting and maybe just buy a Winnebago, sponge paint it and
hit the road. Let's do it.
Enjoy the show.
Yes.
Hey, sis.
Hey, sis. Did you ever have a girl crush when you were in high school? Like somebody who was just like the coolest girl, older, like so beautiful, sporty, just like you're obsessed.
No, I think I was that girl that everybody had crushes on, but no, I'm just hardly, far from it. But
well, today's guest was my total girl crush. She was 4 years older than me, and everybody just thought she was a total badass, and she is. And I'm so fortunate that when I moved back to Dallas, we were able to reconnect, and we've been causing trouble ever since.
You know what I think is funny, Whitney, is that you, like all these guests that we interview that are your friends from high school, you always say like, we've been getting into trouble ever since. Like you're a troublemaker.
I am.
You just get into a lot of trouble.
I just like to party.
Well, we're also joined by her two younger brothers, Michael and Chef Johnathan. Johnathan's a chef, so we're keeping it very on brand here at Hey Sis today. So let's welcome Elyse, Michael, and Johnathan to Hey Sis.
Thank you. We're happy to be here.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
We're so excited. So, looking back, us girls, we went to the all-girls Catholic school, and the boys went to the brother school. And I think between the five of us, we span like
the amount of trouble from 1993 to 2000.
There you are with the trouble again.
Well, I'm just saying.
Take me out of that mix, okay?
Trouble attracts trouble.
That's true. So I know you're the oldest, Elyse, but how do y'all kind of rank and what's the age difference?
So we're all 4 years apart. I'm the oldest, and then Michael trails me by 1 year, and then Johnathan trails me by 4 years. So
Okay.
yeah,
Those are like Irish twins.
Michael and I,
Irish Catholic
We're
twins.
literally like a year apart. It was a lot of fun growing up, for sure.
Oh,
and I was
bet.
really happy when Johnathan showed up because Michael stopped bothering me.
You were like 3 or 4 years old. Like,
I know, but still.
yeah,
She has a distinct memory. There's some trauma there. You know, it's a trigger.
apparently. I don't remember it, but I just remember that she was not traumatized.
I just want to put on record
Yeah.
they will always be older than me.
Yes,
That's true.
That's a
That's
good
the benefit
card
of being
to
the
have.
baby.
I'm excited about it.
But you were very close in high school, and
We were even closer in college because we would end up following each other. He followed me to KU. So,
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so it was, we had a lot more fun probably at Kansas than we did in high school.
I don't know. We were pretty close in high school.
Michael, we're here to celebrate Momma Torry. So tell us the kind of mama and woman that she is.
Well, she was a great mother. She was always heavily involved, in my opinion, or just for me personally, a lot of times too much involved. So
This is a reoccurring thing
It's a
with
reoccurring
Yeah,
theme with
she-
men.
the sons.
her and I have a very unique and loving relationship, but we butt heads a lot. But she was absolutely just determined, to provide and, be around and there and present and, loving and good for us all the time. So we have a great mom.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Anything to add to that, Elyse or Johnathan?
If we're at the table and you happen to like eat the last bit of mashed potatoes before you could even think about wanting more mashed potatoes, she's up, she's got the pot. Like, let me bring, no. I mean, we can do this.
Yeah.
Just has to make sure everyone's okay.
Like, do you want more? And
all
I'm
the
like, I
time.
haven't even started. You know,
Wow.
like,
That's so giving. That's so
Yeah.
loving and attentive.
yeah. No, she was always making tons of efforts to be at everything, whether it be like your sporting game or your school or your birthday party. I mean, she went to like all lengths to get all the details. I mean, not too like, what would you call it? What
Over
are
the
the
top.
Not over the
She
top,
wasn't
or
overbearing,
she's not like
but-
Pinterest mom or anything
Right.
like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that didn't exist back then. But
I think Michael said it present, and that's the most important gift that I think a mom can give their children.
yeah, she was creative. She wanted to be different. She was like, I want to do things that other people are not doing. So let's try to do this. I mean,
That's
some of my
awesome.
favorite birthday parties, like, were the ones that were literally just like her coming up with an idea and just rolling with it.
Can you think
know?
of one in particular that?
Yeah, there's
stands
one that
out?
like really stands out. She told me, she's like, invite your whole class or whoever you want. And they were redoing their garage. So they had pulled everything out. They were going to repaint the entire thing. And so she's like, all right, before we do this, like, let's have your birthday party there. And she's like, tell everyone to wear like, crappy clothes. And we're going to give you guys all paint, and you guys can paint all of the walls in the
fun.
garage and just go to town. And so all my friends, we painted whatever we wanted because they were going to have a professional painter come and
Right.
Oh, that's
repaint the whole thing
brilliant.
over. So we just like got to like trash the whole thing.
So fun.
At what age was this?
This was like 8 or 9 or something like that, or 10. I mean,
I know what Michael was going to say. Was anyone writing penis on the wall?
I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, and then on top of it, she made just sheet cakes that were just plain, and she gave us all those decorated like tubes
Gels
and
and-
gels
yeah.
and stuff. And so everybody got to decorate my birthday cake.
Oh, wow.
Also, and then we got to put candles. So it just
That
was
is cute.
It was
love
just
that
simple
idea.
in the backyard or in the garage, down the driveway.
but so creative.
Yeah, and like simple but
And
super
different.
creative and so much fun. People remembered it.
No
you know?
roller skating or, bullshit ice skating.
She didn't like rent places
Bowling
out.
party. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds way more fun for a kid to go and splatter paint someone's garage.
Yeah.
At least we've talked about how your parents got divorced when y'all were younger. So I'm sure that you had 2 different dinner tables at Momma Torry's versus Daddy Mike's. So did they kind of keep it similar, or were there different things going on at those dinner tables?
Yeah, they were totally different. My dad ended up, cooking a lot, and he actually is a really good cook as well. So definitely want to give him a shout out for his cooking skills. But he would cook, and then we would all sit. Every single dinner was around the coffee table. We had this huge square coffee table that he still owns. Like I literally I'm like, I want my name on that thing, you know, like we would just throw all the pillows down, sit around it. And it was
like Japanese style.
It was like Japanese style, but it was so much fun. So, I mean, that's what I remember growing up. My mom, you know, she would cook, but she had these like, I don't know. Do you guys remember the TV dinner night too? I mean, like she had her meals, but then she had her night. She was like, this is my night off.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
girl.
every single Wednesday night,
As she should.
or whatever was it moonlighting?
Probably was moonlighting.
I think it went from moonlighting to Dr. Quinn, medicine woman.
You're right. I feel like that should be in reverse order because wasn't moonlighting a little bit
I think it was
racy?
Dynasty, then Moonlighting, then Dr. Quinn, Medicine
right.
Woman.
There's Cheers in there as well for Randy.
Yeah, that was like at 11 p.m.
But she would take it. She would like literally like throw us all in the car. She's like, we're going to the grocery store. You guys are coming with us. You got to pick out your TV dinner. And I mean, I'm not trying to like sidetrack her cooking because she did
But it
do
was
some
memorable.
cooking. But this was like a memorable night for me because she was like, okay,
probably enjoyed it.
You're on your own. The funny thing is that we would get in the aisle of the frozen food section and we would sit there like, are you gonna go off like your regular meal or what are you gonna get?
We got the same thing every time.
We got the exact same thing every single time.
And what was that?
What was yours,
Salisbury steak.
Yeah.
Michael?
I don't remember.
Chicken pot pie.
Chicken pot pie, that's for sure.
And then I had like the Mexican enchilada dinner.
Is this like Stouffer's?
So funny.
Whatever.
Everything.
Mine-
Anything.
Yeah.
I'm sure
anything.
mine was like made by like El Paso or something. I don't
Right.
even know. But she's got a dish.
My favorite dish is carbonara from Mom. And it wasn't until years later that I learned a little bit more about Italian food, that it's vastly different from what the traditional Roman carbonara is. It was delicious. There's the bacon, ham. She goes with the egg yolks and the cheese. So
Did
the
she
elements are there.
Keep it traditional?
Well, no,
Oh.
it was kind of
riff.
Mom's version.
Yeah, Momma Torry's version.
Do you still make it today?
She makes it. I had it with her and Elyse's son, who just went off to college not too long ago. You know, she made it for both of us. So
Oh, that's kind of awesome.
he wanted to try it, and I need to eat it every chance I get. So
Aw.
I have fond memories of her carbonara for sure.
Mom was a professional at feeding the masses. You know,
You're right.
all of our
yeah.
sports teams, we'd come over, she'd put everything together, throw it in the oven, the casseroles.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, yeah, I remember whether, your whatever version of the King Ranch casserole
Right.
or,
It's a good one.
but being able to just kind of put all these things together and feed, 12 guys before they've got to go back to practice
That's
or
so
to
nice,
a game.
too.
Yeah.
She was awesome at Domino's Pizza.
As we all are, as all moms are.
Do you think that Momma Torry would share her carbonara recipe with us? Or is it a
Oh.
I bet she
secret?
would. No,
Okay, we want to put it on the website.
Oh yeah, she would totally.
Jonathan sold it.
She does. She does. From our great grandmother, have a wonderful whipped cream recipe.
Yes.
Our great grandmother was
Yeah.
Noni, or Noni,
Okay.
and that's
Wonder what makes it
that's her
different.
grandmother name.
A little bit of almond extract.
There you go. The chef knows.
That sounds delish.
That's the secret.
Speaking of Chef Johnathan, you are the general manager and chef at Barsati's, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that's here in Dallas. Delicious restaurant. I've heard great reviews. They've just reopened with a new menu that you have been highly stylizing, I believe.
We've been expanding a little bit from what we were doing before. We closed down for a remodel for about 3 months. Came out of it with a new name.
Yep.
Completely new design to the front of the restaurant, which has been a big hit. It's
looks
comfortable. We've got a full bar. It was beer and wine beforehand.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
You need to serve the Dirty Sis martini there.
The Dirty Sis Martini.
Yeah.
Well, let's make some and try it.
Yes,
Let's
we'll
do
come
it.
in
Yeah.
this week
Okay.
for sure. So, given your history of being in the culinary world, what inspired you? Who inspired you? Did you get that from your mom? Did you get that from your dad?
Well, first, the three of us were on a Scott Murray's Sports Extra thing when we were kids.
I'm sorry?
It was like a sports show, like local sports show, and I think was it
Scott
from
Murray was like a local sports journalist, but he had like a video show on the weekends or something.
And
Okay.
I think it was a school auction thing.
Oh,
And
Like your mom or dad bid on
bought
it.
it. Yeah.
Right.
that's
And so
hilarious.
after like highlights of local sports, they go to us and they ask some questions. And they asked Michael, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he said, I want to be a chef on a cruise ship. Which sounds awful if you've ever seen thousands of people on a cruise ship before.
Oh, yes. Neurovirus. No, thank you.
Totally inaccurate.
Yeah.
So that's where it all began.
Were you waiting to pull that out? Were you just like, was that baking all day,
Yes.
waiting for this?
Well,
I'm
that,
so
and
glad
I
you
remember
did.
we saw his feet dangling. He was a shorter person, and we got caught laughing on camera when we looked over, and the feet didn't hit the ground. So,
Oh my god.
And he had socks on too. He didn't wear shoes.
yeah, socks, no shoes, and dangling feet the whole time. It was distracting. We were trying to concentrate on
we
our
were
answers.
trying to be professional.
Yeah,
Oh
that was
my
your first gig.
gosh.
But I always loved eating first. I'll say that.
Same.
We cooked a lot at home. We had the TV dinners or, a pizza night, but both of our parents were always cooking and just kind of enjoyed, different things. And then it was always fun over at Dad's house. He was more kind of pick up the Food and Wine magazine or the watching something on TV and seeing some crazy dish like duck l'orange or something that he's never had. And he's like, okay, we got to make that.
Wow.
And so I think that's kind of a difference too. Mom's taking all of the food and throwing it together.
More instinctual.
More instinctual, which is very much kind of what I end up doing, cooking for a living rather than just following line by line on recipes, which is great. I mean, you buy cookbooks, you see these recipes.
Sure.
But one thing with that is people kind of freak out if, I don't have that item.
Yeah.
Okay,
How do you
just
pivot?
move to the next one and keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But kind of seeing both of those angles.
You got it from all sides.
Don't you
Very
agree?
cool.
But I haven't cooked on a cruise ship yet. That's
Neither have
the
I.
goal.
Well, you got to cook a lot on a cruise ship. It's just this constant eating. Well, speaking of cruise ships, kind of makes me think of vacations. And when we were growing up, we did a road trip or two. I mean, the only road trip we really did was going from Dallas to like all through Texas and then into Matamoros, Mexico for a day. And I had like diarrhea for 3 weeks after leaving when I was 7. And I remember being like, I'm never. But anyway, and I think that ended our road trip career. What about you guys? Were you a family of road trips or cruises?
On the road trips every summer, 3 summers in a row, I guess. We did the Winnebago, we did East Coast, kind of.
Winnebago, that's really committing.
Yeah, I think they bought one. My mom, she was like, we're gonna remodel this. I remember us like, she's like, let's get the sponges, and we did sponge paint on the wall. It was like, before. I mean,
God, I
do y'all
love
remember
her.
that?
Yes.
Yes.
Like, she was like, here's the pink and here's the blue, and y'all just go to
Mix it
town.
together.
Do you remember this, Michael?
I remember the Winnebago. I'm not sure I remember the sponge
You're not
paint
part of the
portion it.
decorating?
No, I'm not much of a decorator.
Well, we hit all of the lower 48 states.
You
Wow.
did.
Yeah.
Even if we didn't stop, we drove through every state.
That was
Which
I
is
thought that
cool.
was
That's
2
impressive.
summers. Was that 3?
I thought it was
Because
just
there were other road trips. It wasn't all in Winnebago because there were
There's a
there were
van
times. Yeah, there was a van.
with a TV. We had a TV back in like 1980 something.
Oh, that was a big deal. I remember when
That
there were
was a
people
big
that had
deal.
vans that had TVs or Suburbans with TVs. That was like fancy.
How many times did we
Yeah,
watch
with the
like?
Motorola bag phone and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
exactly.
What were the names of the movies that we watched? I mean, I know for sure it was The Man with Two Brains was in there.
Oh, for sure.
Steve
yeah.
Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, The
Great
Man with
movie.
Two Brains.
Inappropriate for today's youth.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. It's probably been canceled.
We are exposed to a lot of those as well.
We would go to Florida with my dad, and then she was like, okay, I'm driving to Florida and pick y'all up. And then we would hit, go to Florida and then in Georgia, in
North
South.
Carolina.
It's a good
everywhere.
geography test for
Sure.
her right now. Keep going.
I won't help you.
You're doing
I won't
great.
help you.
I was like, Jersey. No, okay, yeah. Like, whatever. By the way, she like would meet these random people and then she's like, oh, we're going to stop here. I met this guy or I met this girl and we're going to like go visit them. And you're like, who are these people? And anyway, but and then or friends or family lived everywhere. So that, very little did we stay in a hotel. We were always staying with somebody. But yeah, like Johnathan said, up the East Coast one summer, all the way up to Canada, to Niagara Falls.
Wow.
And then zigzag back down all the way through like, Tennessee, Kentucky, everywhere. Ohio, we stayed in Cincinnati, Ohio with my mom's friends there. But yeah, and then the next summer all the way up the West Coast and this whole same kind of situation.
Gosh. No. And would you go the whole summer? Like all like 2.5 months?
It was probably 6 weeks or 8 weeks probably.
Wow.
Yeah. No, the craziest story though, like I have to tell this because my mom was just like, she's just nuts. Like when it comes to like just doing random stuff. Do you remember when we went to the Indian reservation?
Oh yeah.
So back when we were in grade school, she goes on this trip on an airplane and comes back. She's like, oh, I met this Indian named Nehenasgana, American Indian, Nehenasgana, and he's going to come to your grade school and he's going to, tell everybody about the Indians and the reservation and blah, blah, blah. And so a month later, Nehenasgana is like in our school doing this whole entire presentation with
That's
like
so cool.
rabbit's feet and, like all the,
Arrowheads.
typical stuff, right? And then sure enough, on our road trip up the West Coast, she's like, so we're going to be stopping in South Dakota at Nehenasgana's Indian reservation. And we're like, okay, Mom, like,
wow,
so random, but
that's
whatever.
Cool, though.
Really cool. We pull off this dirt road. I mean, John, remember, like we had maps with like highlighted, everything was highlighted. She was like, yep,
like
this
AAA.
is like AAA,
yeah.
like
I remember those days.
Ready to go maps. And then we highlight the whole thing, ready to go. I mean, pre like driving,
right.
There's no like navigating during it.
No.
I mean,
this is before Waze.
if you're sitting shotgun, which we all fought over, but you're the navigator.
Yeah.
You
You
gotta
got a
be on
job
it.
to do.
Pull off on this dirt road in the Winnebago. And y'all remember the night or the day that she got invited to go to the hut?
But yeah, to
sweat
smoke
hut?
the peace pipe.
Yeah, the sweat hut.
Like ayahuasca or like
Peyote.
peyote.
I think it was not peyote,
Yeah.
but it could have been.
Yeah. Fun.
Mom's got a crazy side.
There is a story that she took peyote and wrote a book while in a tree at SMU.
True.
And we've asked her about the book, but I've never seen the book.
She said
It's
that?
out there.
No, that's a rumor. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love this
I'm
girl.
inclined to believe it, though.
Tori's a good time.
She's like up for anything, but she like next thing you know, we're sitting there and we're all three in this Winnebago. And she's like, all right, I'll be right back, guys. And we're like, where are you going? And she's like, well, I'm going to go to this sweat hut. She's wearing this robe. I'm like, what do you got underneath there? And she's like, well, nothing. And she's like, I'm going to have to take this off when I get in. Like, I have to go naked. And we're like, Mom, no. Like, we're crying. Like, I was like, you can't go naked in front of all these random people. And she's like, I'm not going to be naked. I mean, it's going to be women in there and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, don't do it. And she had like some Indian, family member of Nehena's got to come and like just keep an eye on us while she was in this hut. But she would just be like, I'll be right back. I'm just going to go get naked in a hut. I'm
what
like,
a great
no,
story.
Mom.
I'll be right back in like 4 hours too, right?
You had to watch The Man with Two Brains twice.
Totally. Like get our minds off of our mom being naked in a hut,
She's very eccentric.
But she's traveled with both of us, like all different places. I mean, I know I've gotten my chance of like traveling with her by herself. The boys have too. I get jealous that they had these trips with her. I'm sure. Did y'all get jealous?
She took us to Paris and then to Grenoble, where we have cousins Bruno and Guillaume.
She made me like take photos with everybody that had a mohawk in London. When we were,
That was
I was
very
like,
80s.
Mom, she was like, there's another one. And I was like, it's not a circus. I was like, they literally but they were like, it was just back in, they looked so cool. And she was just like, I've got to go talk to them. I'm like, do you?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 8, or 10. I can't remember. I just was like, why do you feel like you have to talk to everybody with a mohawk?
Oh my God. This woman's my soul sister. I would totally get on with her.
You probably would.
Court, we didn't get into a lot of trouble when we were growing up, like in school.
Yeah. Outside of school, there was a lot of trouble.
Michael, there's a rumor going around that you were quite the troublemaker in school and that you got sent to the principal's office a lot.
Yeah, which time?
Exactly.
What'd you do?
I think I never did anything like overtly bad or like egregious. It was always just
Misdemeanors?
causing. Yeah, they were all misdemeanors for sure. I got kicked out of class a lot just because of being disruptive.
Is this middle school?
Yeah, but I got moved from elementary school to middle school because apparently I was mischievous or
My mom would show up at school and I'm like, oh my God, I'd see her in the hallway and I'm like, I'm so excited to see her. And I'm like, oh, are you like coming to like bring me a snack or who knows what, you know?
You volunteer?
You're volunteering. Like I got so excited. She's like, now I'm going to the principal's room to see your brother's in there. And I'm like, again, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, like again.
Clearly Michael's blocked that out. Yeah.
it's not even a block. I think it's just like it was impactful. I was doing Elyse a favor. I was creating memories for Elyse.
Right.
Where
right.
I was
You wanted her to think her mom really cared and was involved.
Yeah.
Did a lot of volunteering.
yeah, I'm
Like, oh, Elyse needs some extra attention today. What can I do in here to disrupt this classroom and get sent to the principal's
My
office?
older sister is so special. Let me just do something fun for her.
So generous.
If we're talking about, though, disciplinary action, my favorite memory is of Johnathan.
Ooh, okay.
Sweet
Spill
Johnathan
it.
over there?
Yes.
Me?
We went to Cistercian for middle school, and this happened, I think, after I had left for Jesuit. So that was 5th grade through 8th grade.
Is this mooning my class?
This is winning in class. Yeah.
I also got in some trouble
Yes.
in school.
Yeah. You also got in some trouble. Would you like to tell the story? Because I mean, it's first person. It's probably better.
So there's an aisleway and you have classrooms on either side, and the roof of the classroom angles to some skylights.
Okay.
And so there's a little walkway where there's the skylights, probably for maintenance.
Yes.
Well, one of the upperclassmen shows me how to get up there.
Oh my God.
And so I had to crawl past, I guess I was in 7th grade because I remember it was an 8th grader that ruined this. But I crawled on the deck, you know, to where my class was doing a study review.
After you
Yeah.
had gotten kicked out of class, though.
After I got kicked out of class.
Yeah, you
So
had to
this
be
was
in the hallway to start this whole
yeah,
project.
right.
And did you purposely get kicked out of class so that you could go pull this prank?
I don't remember that, but that does seem like the best way to pull this off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kicked out of class, decide the best course of action is to moon the class, you know, create some comedy for
From
everyone
the skylight.
from the skylight.
Wow,
So
that is so
you
smart.
go outside and there's a way to climb up onto this little landing kind of maintenance area. And so I crawl past one classroom, which are the 8th grade classrooms, to where my class is. And I go full moon while the teacher's back is turned. So everyone's laughing their ass off at this point. And then
Are you like sitting on the skylight with your butt
Yeah, like
on,
pressing your
like,
butt
over?
cheeks against the.
Is your undercarriage?
I just went the butt.
Because I'm picturing him
squat?
squatting over.
It's not over. Yeah.
Right, because that could expose more than just a moon.
Yeah,
you know?
that could be. Mars and Saturn might make a cameo.
Oh my God. So the class is cracking up.
The class is cracking up. You know, I did my job and pulled the pants up. And now I'm crawling back to where I can exit the skylight.
Feeling like a stud, right? Like,
Of course, yeah. Like that was awesome.
Nailed it.
I just pulled it off. And one of the 8th graders, you know, points like, "Look at him," as I'm trying to make the escape.
Oh no.
And so I jumped down back into the hallway, and one of the monks goes full Ray Lewis and just two-hand knocks me right into the wall.
Oh,
And that was the
can't do that today.
No.
Wait, so he pushed you against the wall, and what was the punishment besides that?
Oh, you wrote a million lines.
I will never moon again.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, for a week you're writing the same thing over and over.
But I bet you were the most popular kid after that. I mean, that's like heroic for an all-boys school in 7th grade. I can't think of.
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
What did Momma Torry do?
She was very upset. But she also did cheer me on as I was fighting someone at that school too. Because she worked the little, not concessions, but where you can sell like the shirts and
Yeah.
she was there
The
one
bare
day.
necessities is what it was
Yeah.
called at Ursuline.
Right. And I got into a fight with an upperclassman, a high schooler, when I was in middle school. And I remember a lot of kids were kind of walled off, you know, one side of this aisleway. And on the other side was Tornado just, you know, screaming, "Kick his ass." And
And that was your mom?
We call her Tornado.
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Oh, I love that. Because she's just always a whirling dervish?
I don't know. Like, why do
Correct.
we call her a
Yes.
tornado?
Because she's always a whirling dervish.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Whirling around in her Winnebago, going to sweat lodges, cheering on her
Yeah,
son.
Torry Tornado.
I
So we
love
just call
it.
her the Tornado.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I thought of this earlier. There was a high school story, and it was, classic where we know one of our friends' parents are out of town. So, I'm trying to say we're going over to this person's house while they're saying we're going to that person's
Oh, yeah.
house. Also, we can throw the house party. It was at Hughes's house
Oh, yeah.
because his parents were out of town. And we think, we're smart. We've got
Yeah.
this covered. And then all of a sudden the door flies open and parents are coming in, but Tornado was leading the charge, screaming, "Your asses are grasses, and I'm the lawnmower." And doesn't even stop at grass. I love how it was plural. Your asses are grasses, and I'm the lawnmower.
And the lawnmower. Oh,
Maybe she should be called the lawnmower.
That's amazing.
I've never heard that story.
And then I think it was Connor that jumped the fence, and we were all cracking up because, I'm pretty sure his dad, who was right behind Torry, was going to make a positive identification that he was there.
Right. Did Connor really think he was going to escape that lawnmower?
He thought it, but
God.
it didn't happen.
I love this woman.
oh gosh.
We always, like to go big at Halloween. Whitney and her costume parties and her Halloween and all that. And I do it in LA too with my kids. We go big. Did Momma Torry go big at Halloween?
She loves Halloween.
Oh.
Loves Halloween. I mean, why I love you also with the fact that you just embrace all this costume stuff and you
Yeah.
just creative. I love that. But she's definitely instilled all of that in us. I would think, and don't you agree? She went ridiculously all out when we were little.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. We were the haunted hallway.
Oh.
The haunted hallway house.
Oh, like for trick-or-treaters to
for
come?
trick-or-treaters. So it wasn't just stop at the door and decorate outside. It
came in.
was, we'd come into the house, into the hallway, make a turn,
Yeah.
maybe there's a room. It was a big deal. I mean, it was
the downstairs bathroom under the staircase was completely she put a red light bulb. You had to bob for apples. So anyone with face makeup walked
Yeah.
out with no makeup on anymore.
She forced you, held your head down.
Jar of nasty noodles.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
The wet brains.
The peeled grapes were the eyeballs.
Yes.
She had all these accessories, but lined the hallways with trash bags. I mean, but yeah, I don't think you could do this today. Any
No.
kid, nobody would walk into your house. People are
No
so
way.
scared.
Right.
But this was a full on production.
That's amazing.
We had a cat named Spooky and Spookette.
Did she dress up?
Oh, 100%.
big witch lady.
She did the witch every year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the witch costume.
And she'd laugh. She had the laugh,
Ooh, a good cackle.
the cackle.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember the progression of it. I remember that there was it was a strong, a nose,
Right.
the hat,
Right.
some moles,
Sure.
Some face
some
makeup.
face makeup.
But then she would just randomly cackle every 15 kids she'd get it out and because she probably could go hoarse by the end of the night. What do you remember, Jonathan?
I remember my awesome He-Man costume. A couple years in a row.
Yes.
I was all about He-Man
Yeah,
in
yeah, you
that
were.
time.
Well, we all had to be about He-Man because you were all He-Man.
So into
The
He-Man.
baby rules.
She made us all one year homemade Ghostbuster.
Oh, that's right. I think we still have those.
We
actually.
do.
Yeah.
The paint white suit, the white paint,
Sure.
or
Yeah.
Yeah, the overall, or not overalls, but the Dickies.
Coveralls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coveralls.
the people that go underneath the house, put them
Sure.
on.
Yeah.
Lance owns 2 pairs.
Okay.
My husband.
Yeah, she made us Proton Pack?
Proton pack.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Proton
had a
packs.
box on the
Nice.
back. It was probably a shoe box that just got wrapped
Oh,
in white
that's
paper.
smart.
or
She ordered the
something.
stickers. We had a huge sticker on it. She's got 10 million items in her house, and she's super proud of her costume closet.
We're going to move on to the rapid fire portion of this podcast. One word to describe your mom, Michael.
Determined.
Elyse.
Fierce.
Johnathan?
Magnanimous.
Ooh, some good ones.
Breaking out the big guns there.
Michael, who's her favorite?
Elyse.
The princess.
It's the mom-daughter relationship. Do you agree with that, Johnathan?
No, it's me.
I was going to say Johnathan.
I knew it was Johnathan. I just didn't want to give him that credit.
Well, then who makes her laugh the most, Johnathan?
Elyse.
You think?
Probably.
I think you do. You're the funnier one.
Y'all are all pretty damn funny.
Yeah.
if you want my opinion.
I don't know. You are too, Michael.
Not necessarily around mom. We're usually fighting.
Yeah.
Then this is going to lead me to my next question. I was going to ask who pisses mom off the most.
Michael.
For sure, Michael.
Yeah.
Michael.
Yeah.
Michael.
Unanimous decision.
It's got to be that way, Michael.
There's so much similarity that I think that we butt heads.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
She's stuck on the first, middle, and third child rules that you always hear. It's always the middle child is the Dennis the Menace of the family.
True.
What is one trait that you got from your mom, Torry? Johnathan?
Creativity.
Michael?
Work ethic.
Elyse?
Non-judgmental.
Oh, that's beautiful. Elyse, what's one thing that you would like to tell your mother today while you're on this podcast?
Oh boy. I would love to tell her that it doesn't matter what she does or what anybody else is doing around her. Everything she does is so unique and so appreciated. And I know it's coming from a place of 100% love and support, and just don't change. And you're fucking amazing.
Aw, so sweet.
What about you, Michael?
I think I've tried to tell her before. I mean, I love her to death. She knows that. She did an absolute great job and continues to do a great job being a mother and a grandmother. Sometimes when I try to talk to her which doesn't happen as often anymore, I'm looking more for a friend than I am looking for a mother. Mm-hmm. She, understandably so, has a hard time adjusting to that, knowing she raised me and I'm an adult now and I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm looking for advice, not necessarily like the motherly kind of advice. So,
I think every mother of boys really struggles with that.
yeah, and I get it. I know that it's hard, and I try to give her a pass, but at the same time, if I'm, I think that's definitely not kept us from being closer, but kept us a little bit from communicating more. Because the communication is tougher.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a little bit different kind of relationship.
Because you know the love is there. So
100%. And she knows, and I think she knows as well.
For sure.
But I just don't talk to her. I mean, they talk to her way more than I do. Yeah. I call to check on her every once in a while, and I'm here for her and to help her or whatever. But yeah.
We'll pick up the phone.
I do, motherfucker.
Johnathan?
She's incredibly smart, and I always thought that it was really cool how she wants to do something and will always achieve it. And a lot of people give up on things. She got her master's degree, then she wanted to get her doctorate. She's a doctor.
Wow.
It's everything she sets her mind to. She wants to complete it, and she's smart enough and cool enough in every situation to do that. So I would tell her that I'm always kind of in awe of my mother.
Oh.
Yeah. It's really sweet.
She's really cool, and she's fun.
I can't wait to meet her.
Yeah.
The tornado. You got to meet the tornado.
I definitely
She's an amazing
need to meet
person.
the tornado.
Yeah. She's definitely one to be reckoned with, for sure. So fun.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all of these beautiful memories and stories about Momma Torry tonight. I just love getting to know you guys. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
It's been so fun. I know Elyse well, but haven't seen you guys in a long time. So it's awesome. Thank you for sharing. I know Elyse was like, come on this podcast. And y'all were like, what?
Aren't you glad you did?
It was definitely intimidating. Head scratcher. What are we doing here?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, does it all make sense now?
It does, if not for Whitney and the personal connection, from years and years ago.
Yeah.
this probably would not have happened.
Well,
So-
thank you. And I know Elyse is one of our biggest supporters.
I am. I love it.
Johnathan, tell our listeners how we can find you at Barsati.
You can go on the website, barsatis-dallas.com. We were formerly Carbones, which we've been open in the same space since 2012. We went through a remodel, new name, Barsatis, Fine Food and Liquors on Oak Lawn. We're hoping to be there for
A very
many
long
years to
time.
come.
You will be. I can
we
feel it.
love the neighborhood.
Great.
We're a neighborhood spot, and we hope to see everyone there soon.
Dallas,
We
Dallas,
can't wait.
Texas.
Yes,
Dallas,
Dallas,
Texas.
Texas.
Give them
Yes.
your cell number to text you.
Yes.
when they need a reservation.
For seats at the bar.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's end it like we always do, Courtney.
Love you. Love your show, Whit.
I love you. I love your show.
Thank you so much for listening to Hey Sis, Eat This. If you LOL'd, peed your pants a little bit, or even smirked, please hit subscribe if you haven't already. And feel free to rate and review, but only if it's positive.
Also, visit our website for recipes and to sign up for our newsletter at heysisEatThis.com.
Get your shit together, Elyse.
Thanks, Michael.
No competition in this family whatsoever.
None.